Welcome into the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. I'm excited for today's show, folks. I'll tell you why. I've been a huge comic book fan for the longest time. We're not talking comics, however, today. We are talking art, though, today. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can learn how to draw different cryptid creatures today. And I'm excited about this book right here. This book I got to thumb through quite a bit before our guest Ballyraven comes on today. It's called Cryptid Creatures, Learn to Draw Mysterious Beasts from Around the World. And I'll tell you this much. I have a huge appreciation for what artists do, mainly because I can't do it. It's like a lot of things I can't do in this world. But the one thing that I tried to do from a very early age is to learn to draw proficiently. And it was one of those things that I thought I could do. I tried to do it from a very early age, from as early as 10 years old. I tried to sit down and draw different superheroes, and it just looked like a very bad Rorschach test. But I tried. I really did. But hence I couldn't do it. Let's bring in our guest, and we'll find out. And by the way, as I went through this book, I thought I would try it again, and I'll tell Ballyraven here in a bit. Just exactly what my results were. I'm not going to show you because I'm embarrassed. Ballyraven is an Appalachian illustrator who loves nature and monsters. Through her work, she's shared her love for prehistory, science, fantasy, and all things creepy. Ballyraven not only draws, but also writes books and hosts a great podcast as well. We'll talk about that today, all focused on cryptids, myths, and the paranormal. Let's bring her in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in for the first time to Darkness Radio, Ballyraven. Hi, Ballyraven. How you doing?
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. All right. So I stated that, I'd gone thoroughly through the book, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a shot at this. It didn't end up so
good. Which one was it?
I started with Bigfoot because I took numerous shots at this, and then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go to Chupacabra because I thought Chupacabra would be easier, and and then I tried Mothman. Then I'm gonna go with an old-fashioned gray alien, right? Because the gray alien you can't screw up. I screwed that up too. And then I gave up.
It's something that takes a few tries,
It does.
Each section, the first one is the easiest, and it seems like you were hitting the end cards for each chapter.
Yes, yeah, I was. Yeah.
Started in the more difficult category.
Well, I thought to myself, because there's been quite a few. Well, I don't know how much you know about. Are you a big comic book fan? Do you know a lot of comic book artists?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. So in my day, and a lot of comic book geeks may know what I'm talking about. I've met like Neil Adams, who is a world famous Batman artist, Jim Lee, who's like the head now of DC. But he was a big time Marvel X-Men artist, and now a big time Superman artist over at DC. Met and talked to Jim Lee like back in the 90s, and I've met a lot of big time comic artists and seen them do sketches, right? And met a lot of comic artists, Ballyraven, right? I'm kind of a comic book artist groupie, not gonna lie. I have a lot of signed stuff around. In fact, I have a bunch of sketches I could go run in the other room and grab you I've invested in comic art because I love it, right? It's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. So you can tell I wanted you on the show, right? And I say to myself, okay, maybe I could try it. I never fancied myself as someone who it's one of those always a fan, never could do, right? Type things, And every time I've sat down with an artist, I marvel at what they can do. I sit and watch intently, right? Like in awe of what it is they can do. And you see them, doing what they do, and they do it so fast, right? It's just, you see them drawing out, and you think, wow, maybe someday I could do that. Nope, you can't. It's like watching an artisan, a skilled artisan, doing what they do and doing what they love and doing what God sent in front of them to do. And all you can do is watch. Right?
Well, it is one of the few things I'm good at, honestly. So I've put a lot of time into it. And of course, practicing something, you get better and better at it. It doesn't come as easily to everyone, but there are days that I make really, really terrible drawings too. It's it's interesting. Some days I can't draw anything, and it's just you just got to take a break and walk away and come back when you just feel different. So maybe you were having an off day.
Oh, I had a really off day.
There were many times I was practicing my own tutorials and I was just like, I don't know how I did this. So I just like would scrap the whole, you know, idea I had for it and just
Mhm.
try for something else.
What I do like about the book is you've taken and broke it down and made it simple. So you like, for example, and I'll do this for our friends on video. So here I've got a picture of the Blue Mountains panther. Okay. So for the panther's head, obviously you've got to start with shapes, right? So you start with, okay, so you've got a panther head. You've got to start with a basic shape of a panther head. So you take you take a triangle or an upside down triangle, right? And then you split the triangle down the middle. So then you've got to start with the basic shape of the panther head, and then you've got to have that outline in order to draw around, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's and then and then from there you've got to form the shape of the panther's head, and then you fill in your details from there. It's see for me it's kind of like you can see the details as you're forming around the shape of the triangle. It's like you've put the frame up and now you form the details around the frame. For me, it's like I want to draw everything at once and I don't see the details around the frame. I don't know if is that a skill, or is that something that I just need to let my imagination go and fill the details in there.
I'm not sure. I haven't really talked to a lot of artists about how they start. Well, it's hard to explain how you do something because a lot of times I'll skip the shapes, but when I really sit down and think about it, I see the framework in whatever I'm doing. I might not always sketch it out, but it's unconsciously there. And where I've practiced so much, it's just, I can visualize that in my head and I don't have to take time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to talk to other people. It's not something artists usually talk to each other about, like, oh, how do you do this or that? Everyone just already knows that they're at a certain level and you just talk about your styles.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be something, it's something that maybe I should ask just out of curiosity.
It is an interesting way because everyone has their interpretation, right? And what I love about this book is that you've got a lot of things here. People say, okay, cryptids and creatures. How do you know what to draw? Because supposedly these things aren't real, right? Uh,
Right.
so where where do your interpretations come from for these cryptids? Are these from people's experiences? Are these from your own mind? Where do these pictures come from that you put into this book?
It's a little bit of everything. So I call it the facts. So if someone sees something and they describe parts of it, I'll clip those parts, put them aside on like a piece of paper and be like, oh, these are the things that have to be true. Because, I just assume that people are telling the truth about this and I don't try to, you know, uh, look for things to, fault them on or, oh, maybe you're exaggerating or hoaxing.
Mhm.
So I'll keep that aside. I'll be like, oh, the creature has to be like this. And then I'll see where did this take place? And I'll look at all the different animals that are around there, or maybe there's a zoo or like a traveling thing happening at the time. Like in the 19th century, there were a lot of traveling circuses. So there were some myths that were based on these escaped animals, and I'll take that kind of thing into consideration. So it's history, the witnesses, and then local flora and fauna. And I'll try to, combine that to make it into a creature that looks like it belongs in the area.
Okay.
But then maybe, add the little fantastical or magical elements to it. I try not to make everything, oh, it's just a pet that got loose or an escaped, circus animal because that gets a little boring after a while. I really appreciate or I enjoy doing animals that are like natives to the environment. Because I find that more interesting that there could be like Bigfoot all across North America that are, evolved to live in this specific forest and they blend in so well. What would that look like?
Right. Well, okay, so you bring up an interesting subject here. Now, with Bigfoot, you've got, of course, you've got your North American Bigfoot. You've got your Bigfoot, of course, over in Europe and Russia and in Asia. You've got different variations of Bigfoot. In your mind's eye, and in different witness accounts, do you know kind of how to change that variation, or do you have an idea of how to change that variation based on geographical location?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll even pull from like fossil records and see what things used to look like and maybe change it up a little bit to match modern animals in an area. A lot of people will describe Bigfoot differently based on its facial features
Hmm.
or its like head shape, color of its fur, where its hair is longest and shortest, or bald in certain areas. It's really interesting because there's a lot of variation, and it's usually regional variation. 'Cause, for example, in southern West Virginia, there are these sightings of small big feet, and they're like about 4 feet tall, really wide, really chubby, and they're skittish. And they just go in and cause havoc at night, breaking stuff, looking for food,
Yeah.
destroying trees, just eating copious amounts of leaves and fruit. And, outside of that area, Bigfoot's 7 to 10 feet tall and mean or just kind of stoic. And it's just I just love the oddities of it. 'Cause every area has its own Bigfoot story. Even my husband he's from Roswell, New Mexico. His
Hmm.
grandpa called and told us, he's like, "Oh, do you remember when I told you I saw a Bigfoot in the desert?" And he described it. It's just like, how could something so hairy and large wander around this
Yeah.
vast, flat, hot landscape? And I've just been mulling that over of how you would try to explain or depict something like that as, surviving.
And where does it survive?
Yeah, it
Right.
under the sand, under the dirt, the very hard caliche.
Right. I mean, at that point, you have to ask: is it truly an ape, or is it a dimensional traveler? Right.
Yeah, that's one of interdimensional travel or aliens, some kind of magic is a lot of, I don't want to say excuses, but explanations. People tend to gravitate towards these extreme cases,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that is a little bit harder to swallow than just very well camouflaged. There's a lot of things that would need explaining.
Are there? Because forgive me, I've never been to Roswell, but are there any caves or anything like that where Bigfoot could stay?
There's actually the one of the largest cave systems in the world, I think, Carlsbad Caverns. It's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half north,
Okay. Huh.
but you know, there's some tight spots you'd have to squeeze through.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe
Hmm.
the food would be another
It's pretty
limiting
far.
factor. Yeah, but who
Hmm.
knows? Maybe he escaped Area 51.
It's I've had plenty of guests who have come on the program that have said if you see a UFO in one spot, you'll see Bigfoot in another. They seem to travel simultaneously. So to me, that doesn't seem unusual that you see one, you see the other, right?
There's a
Um,
lot of things like that because I'm sure you've heard of uh the cemetery connection to that too, like the trio of Bigfoot near a cemetery and a UFO sighting in like the same area.
Believe it or not, no, I haven't.
Oh,
That's new.
it's
No, no,
something
no.
I see a lot more in northern Ohio Bigfoot stories, but
Really?
it happens other places too.
So what is the connection with the cemetery, if you would?
I don't think no one's ever told me, but being a kind of a cynical person that I am, uh I assume it's just like you go out into the cemetery looking to get scared. You're in that mindset. You're wanting to see. You want to believe in something that night right there. So maybe it's just as simple as that. But a more fun explanation is, I guess, if aliens are catching and releasing big feet, why would they not do so with us?
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, I
Interesting.
guess a graveyard would be pretty easy pickings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's where supposedly the guard is let down the most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost I hate to say killing field. It's a really bad pun, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, there's another layer there, right? Very interesting indeed. It's funny that you mentioned Roswell. I've got the book now open to the Roswell alien. Um, I it was that was kind of the next place I was going to go was to the actual Roswell alien because you know the over the years we've had the supposed pictures, which again, are they real or are they fake, right? There was a controversy as to whether they were actual pictures or not, but it's the classic big black eyes, gray skin, gray alien type uh, picture. Um, but I love the picture you've drawn here and the fact that this could be the quintessential, alien from Roswell.
Well, thank you.
Um,
The Roswell event was not immediately popular. It took, I think, about a decade to really get going in the UFO crowd. And it's, I think, single-handedly responsible for the generic image you think of when you think of alien.
yeah, yeah, and I know a lot of people think, well, there's so many different types of aliens out there. When you think of drawing different type of aliens, and I know in this book there's so many different creatures to be drawing, but when you're thinking of drawing aliens, is it in your mind? When you think of drawing a Nordic, what are you thinking of drawing? Are you thinking of drawing a classic Thor type figure, or are you thinking of is that what you're thinking of when you're drawing a Nordic?
Probably, yeah, for the most part, because, well, as an artist, you have to capture what people's like vision is too. It can't just be your uh, commitment to realism or what you think would be fun, because at the end of the day, it's also a job. So you have to get, what everyone's collective thought is on it too,
Hmm.
included into the image.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a messy system.
And then with a reptilian, I've always imagined something that looks like the lizard from Spider-Man comics or whatever, just this long, you know, standing on two hind legs, something that may be 6 to 7 feet tall, maybe even has hands instead of paws, and looking extremely scary, but with a shorter snout. Is that pretty much what you would draw for a reptilian?
Yeah, it's aliens are very, very hard for me because, like I said, I like to try to get people's imaginations on paper. But for me, when I'm thinking about aliens, they could be nothing like us at all. And how do
Mhm.
you even picture that? Something that might not eat or drink or sleep the way we do, or move completely alien or foreign to us. How do you even begin to wrap your mind around like a concept like that?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of the old Saybrook blockheads.
No.
So this woman saw spaceships outside her window, and she described these giant cubes with little round, bright red circles inside. And they
Okay.
had a skirt for a body that was like scaly and fleshy. And then
Hmm.
it had one really long tentacle arm that was always held up high. And they would like pass each other back and forth. And I was just like, wow, this is the most amazing opportunity to be creative, but it's so open to interpretation, it's hard to tackle. And that's just aliens.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
aliens are just one of those things. It's like when some people will commission you for art, and it's always so easy when they give you these really strict guidelines. But the more open it is, the more time consuming and stressful it is because it's just like, what do you do with this? You could do anything and everything.
Very true. Very true. I mean, and you're right. There is a certain amount of interpretation that comes up when it comes to, what you can put into it and what you can add, what you can take away. But I tell you what, I am going to throw in. We'll take our break here, Ballyraven. When we come back, I want to talk about things that are so popular in media and have such a staunch image to them that it's hard to sit down at the easel or sit down at your sketchbook and say, you know what, I want to get away from that and I want to put my own spin on it because people have an expectation. And in fact, I'll tie it into a place where you appear yearly, and that is the Mothman Festival. We'll talk a little bit about Mothman Festival when we come back. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your about what it is you see at Mothman Festival, what brings you back to Mothman Festival every year. And we'll talk a little bit about drawing Mothman because you do have a little bit of a different spin on Mothman as opposed to the classic statue. So I want to talk to you about your interpretation of Mothman, and we'll show people on video what your interpretation of Mothman is in the book. And we'll talk a little bit about interpretations and classic visions or classic visages of these characters and what it is that people see. My guest is Ballyraven. This book is amazing, folks, and really, I'm encouraging you to pick it up and try it. Try something new today. Try drawing because I know I've tried it. I'm going to keep trying because I'm such a is it art file? Is that a good way of putting it, Ballyraven?
I don't know. It's
It's
as good a word as any.
there you go. Cryptid Creatures. Learn to draw mysterious beasts from around the world. If you're a fan of any type of art, or you want to, if you love just sitting down every once in a while and putting pen to paper and try doodling, I'm telling you, folks, the way that Ballyraven attacks this and shows you how to draw just simply from shapes and putting together these creatures. And if you're a fan of cryptids, this is the book to pick up right here. This is the book to try it. And I'll guarantee you'll sit down and you'll try this. And I know this much from trying this. I came a heck of a lot closer to drawing these things than I would have had I not tried it. I'm just saying that I wasn't very good on my first try, but I know if I sat down and I tried and I gave it a good, honest try, I could probably do a pretty good job at this. I'm just saying my first attempt wasn't very good, but I just won't show it on video. I can't, I can't do that to myself. But I am going to go forward from here on out and give it the good old college try. And then maybe in a few months, I'll show you guys my expertise at this. But by all means, pick it up right now. Cryptid Creatures, learn to draw mysterious beasts from around the world. When we come back, we'll ask Ballyraven about classic, iconic images versus our own interpretation. And we'll ask her about the Mothman Festival when we come back right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Ballyraven. This is the book right here. It's a wonderful one at that. Look at that. That's a beautiful cover right there if you're watching on video. Cryptid Creatures, learn to draw mysterious beasts from around the world. It's available right now. We have a link in the description of this program so you can go pick it up. And I want to show you here, folks, this image right here from the book. If you're watching on video, that's Mothman right there. And that is how Ballyraven has put the image or drawn the image for the book of Mothman. Now, I want to ask you, Ballyraven, you attend the Mothman Festival every year. You have a booth out there at the Mothman Festival. So I take it you probably promote your and tell people about your podcast first before we get moving here.
My podcast is called the Ballyraven Cryptid Wildlife Protection Agency, or BICPA, because it's quite a mouthful. And I make these sort of David Attenborough nature mockumentaries. So I'll take a subject like I just did one on the giant mud puppy a few years ago, and it's a Lake Erie cryptid. It's very not well known at all. And
Okay.
then I'll just imagine what it would be like if it was real living there as people believe or say it has. And then we
Oh,
just follow its life from sometimes birth to unfortunate death.
oh no. Okay. Aw. Aw. So there's never a happy ending?
Sometimes it ends happy, but it comes for us all.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's a healthy way of looking at it, right? You just have to
Whenever
think
you deal with dark subjects like that, you that's the first hurdle.
that's true. I had me thinking about my poor little chipmunks. Mm. That's the one thing I do want to. I'm going to be selfish here for a minute here, Ballyraven. The one reason I do want to learn how to draw, I want to learn how to draw my little chipmunk spud. So that's what I'm
That
going to.
that's we can do that. That's simple.
That's simple.
Just circle,
Hmm.
rectangle.
Circle, rectangle, really?
Yeah, then you just add your tail and your little legs, ears,
Yeah. And that's
face. Done. Smooth it
done.
out a little bit. Smooth out the corners a little bit. Done.
And that's it.
That's it.
Oh my
I
gosh.
actually have a couple chipmunks on my porch. I love them, but they destroy my herb garden, and
Yeah.
they buried a peanut, and now the peanut is growing better than my garden.
Yes, they're very good gardeners.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was taken aback. I was just like, well, if it grows peanuts, I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very good gardeners. Yeah. 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 Spud is yeah. I give her peanuts, I give her blueberries, and I give her cherries. She loves blueberries and cherries too. Yeah. So
They're adorable. I love them.
yeah. And she comes when she's called. She knows her name and yeah, she's yeah. Yeah. And she always brings her little babies around to introduce them to me and we have a cool little relationship. So
Well, yeah, that's real. I'm jealous, actually.
oh, yeah, it's yeah, but I've gotten off the beaten track. I'm sorry. So we were getting the Mothman Festival. How long have you been out at the Mothman Festival?
Since 2016 or 17, I think. It's been
Okay,
a while.
good long time. Good long time.
Yeah.
What keeps you coming back to the Mothman Festival?
It's the best time. If you like cryptids, it's the best weekend of the year.
Yeah,
People from across the world come and just converge on this tiny little West Virginia town, and then we just talk about monsters for 2 days. It's
yeah.
great. I
Well,
I always learn about something I've never heard of every time.
so it's not just focused on Mothman. You have people coming in talking about other cryptids as well.
Yeah. Of course, everyone's there to buy something Mothman related because it's one of the few places you can get some really obscure like gifts,
Hmm.
but the people there are usually the most dedicated into folklore or mythology, so they love anything. And the weirder and less heard of it is, the more everyone just gets so excited about it.
Yeah. Do you have people that come in and ask you for custom sketches of Mothman?
Not Mothman as much, but um, I'll usually get requests for like a small town monster, like a local cryptid that has never been drawn before,
Really?
and that's always fun. It, People just love to see their area represented, and I have the best job in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the most obscure cryptid you've been asked to draw maybe at the festival?
Hmm, that's a tough one. I did one year. Someone asked me about the Monongahela man-eating beaver,
Really?
and I was just like, that can't exist.
Did,
They showed me a little article, and I was just like, I think you wrote this article.
was there a picture for reference that you could go
No,
to? Okay, so
nothing.
you kind
It
of had
was
to use the old imagination, huh?
Yeah, well, they were like, it's a leftover Ice Age beaver because the beavers used to be giant, I guess.
Okay.
But this one's mad and aggressive and whistles like a train.
What? It whistles like a
Yeah, yeah, he whistles like a train, charges you, and then tears you apart with his big buck teeth.
okay. And I suppose that's somewhat dangerous, isn't it?
I, have you been around beavers often?
Yeah, we have quite a few of them here in Minnesota. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I went kayaking and I never was afraid of one before, but when you're out in the middle of the water in a little boat and they're coming at you, smacking their tail really loud. It is a little bit more intimidating than you'd expect.
Yeah, it can be a little intimidating. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just a
but I
smack
wouldn't
on the
say I'm
butt.
scared of them, you know.
No, but the initial smack can take you aback a little bit.
Yeah, you know they're mad, and you don't
Yeah.
want to push that.
No, 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 no.
If it
And,
was the size of like us, maybe I would take that a lot more seriously.
oh, sure. Yeah. But and their dams can be quite big. I mean, they
Yeah,
quite industrious. Yeah.
yeah, little like wood mansions out there.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Little wood mansions. Yeah. But a huge man-eating beaver that whistles like a train. I don't know that. I mean, that's a great slogan, right?
Yeah. Well, like all cryptids, I wish they were real, you know?
Yeah.
I hope that there's something like that out there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So you've got now. I showed everybody your interpretation of Mothman, which is very dark, very scary. But you've also got this huge statue in the middle of the festival, right? That is a very iconic image,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So do you ever have anybody go, "Can you draw me that?"
Never.
And at the no, no, you
Never. Well, there's a ton of that already out there. Which if you've never seen the Mothman statue, it's a hot man body, I would
yeah,
describe it as. Like
yeah,
super ripped, like a comic book hero with like a little hairy chest,
mhm,
oddly enough, huge butt, bird claws, clawed hands, and then giant like butterfly wings. And then on top, like a 1970s insect alien head.
mhm,
It's wonderful.
mhm.
It's not at all like the description of the Mothman at all, but it is its own thing and everyone loves it. You know, people come all throughout the year just to come and touch it, leave a pepperoni roll and a Mountain Dew beside of it. It's a cultural phenomenon.
Don't they put things on it like in inappropriate places?
Yeah, they do. I think last week someone put a tramp stamp on it, a sticker.
Ah, yes.
But it's called the shiny hiney because people have touched its butt so much that the patinas worn off.
I see. Yeah.
Every year at Mothman Festival, there's a huge several hour line to just take a picture with it.
Mhm.
And there's always at least three people who get engaged in front of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very
Huh.
romantic spot.
I guess, right? Mm. Yeah, to me, when I see that statue, I think, wow, someone's really enamored with Mothman to put something like that together.
Oh yeah, they had a very specific well, you know,
Yeah,
they knew what they liked.
yeah, a very specific image of Mothman, and whoever it was very enamored. Yeah,
Yeah, and you know, they did a good job because it is the most famous image of Mothman I think ever created so far.
yeah, and nothing that I ever saw Richard Gere go up against.
No.
It- no, no, no. Yeah,
No.
that's for sure. Um, but the image that you've drawn is probably closer to what uh, people would say they'd seen, correct?
I went a little bit more insecty, but it's
Mm.
because the statue's influence is just too great, you know? And
Yeah.
Mothman, you expect a moth, but the original descriptions were more birdish,
Mhm.
like Birdman. Birdman would have been a more accurate name,
Okay. Yeah.
which I did do an illustration 2 years ago that was story accurate, and no one wanted that. It's
Really?
been my least popular image ever.
Huh.
So it's always just really interesting.
Really? I, it's funny that you say that people want the fantasy of what they think the creature is, as opposed to what the actual creature should look like, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
don't.
Mothman is kind of a different kind of pop culture icon too. He's really big in the LGBTQ community and
Mhm.
like cute, you know, cute and gay is the Mothman. He's just he's a lot of different things to different groups of people.
Sure, I suppose. I mean, everyone's got to kind of have a mascot.
Yeah. And he's also, there are a lot of people who take it very seriously too, and they want to know what the Mothman was, what were the Men in Black doing, what were people actually seeing.
Mhm.
Um, just it brings so many different groups and cultures into one place, and it's really nice to be a part of.
Right on. Now, final question, and then we can move off the Mothman Festival. Has anyone ever claimed to have seen the creature while you've been at the festival?
Um, I think one of the original witnesses was a part of the festival for many years, but I think she passed away. I
Okay.
never met her. I think I might be remembering wrong because there's a lot of witnesses and a lot of stories. I think her name was Linda Scarberry.
Okay.
I don't know if that rings a bell with you or not.
Yep.
But they had someone there to talk about what she saw and just what she thought of things now. But I've never met anyone who's said that. There
Hmm.
there are a few different kinds of Mothmen, I guess,
Hmm.
locally. Like there's the Gallipolis Mothman, which is across the river in Ohio, and a few others in different states in the Appalachian region. But it's just a flying creature in the air, so it's kind of hard to say if that is definitively Mothman or not.
Okay.
But
All right.
like I said, I've never met anyone who's even claimed to see the offshoots of it.
Okay.
But I wish they would come by and tell me about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a creature in the book. If I can read from it for just a moment here, Ballyraven, that is absolutely. Let me show the picture. It's the Flatwoods monster. All right. So I'm going to tell our audience about it real quick here, if I can. This thing, it looks just from what you've illustrated. I don't know that I want to run into this thing personally. It looks terrifying. I just know if I ran into this thing in a dark alley, I might pee myself. Um, it's got a teardrop shaped head, but the eyes are like pure yellow, and the head is red. But it's got like this almost flame teardrop shape behind it, almost like it looks like it should be a flame, right?
Hmm.
In the story behind it, it says on September 12th of 1952, the inhabitants of a small town called Flatwoods in West Virginia watched the sky as something bright red fell and landed atop a hill on a nearby farm. A group of onlookers decided to go see what it was. The party smelled something before they saw anything. A faint, pungent mist obscured the ground and made them feel sick. Farther up the hill, they saw a fiery red light beaming down from above. Before them was a tall, 25-foot long metallic object. Next to the object was a 10-foot tall creature. Looking down at them, the creature was 6 feet tall and clothed in rubberized silk that hung in drapes. The alien jolted toward the witnesses and spewed mist. When others arrived to investigate, nothing remained on top of the hill but matted grass, burn marks, and a thick black substance and a nauseating smell.
A bad time.
Yeah, not someone you want to invite to your party. Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
You were talking about reptilians earlier, and this is one of the alien cases that some people claim is a reptilian inside of a spacesuit or like an exploration suit.
Okay.
Because the way it's described, it doesn't sound biological. It sounds more like a manufactured thing, but also it's an alien, so they might not be what we expect at all.
But I mean, 1952, it's not exactly like they have scientific stuff to test whatever that mist was that was being spewed,
Yeah.
right? But exactly why it's laying that stuff out is ugh.
Yeah. People have said, yeah, like spaceship wreckage, um, falling debris from space,
Ugh.
alien. You know,
Yeah,
it's one of those things where you'll never know.
right. Right. But just Just horrible. Another story that was told on this program not too long ago was the story of the not deer, which was one of the most terrifying stories I think I'd heard. It was um, an actual encounter with the not deer, which
What
was
how did their story go?
essentially it was a run in with this not deer where the hunter took aim at it, went and fired upon it, and the thing just kept showing up. Like it they thought they clipped it. Um, it got away, but then it came back and it just kept hunting this guy. And this guy called his buddy, tried to get out of the woods. Essentially, he had gone into the woods. He was on his stand. Um, Told him to come pick him up, but as he was trying to get out of the woods, this thing was chasing him. It was just yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Oh, I actually had this is one of my local monsters. Well, a version of it. Because I grew up near a former nuclear plant.
Hmm.
And when I was growing up, people would tell stories about it wasn't called a not deer because I think that's more of a recent name to this
I think
phenomenon.
yeah.
But it was a three-eyed deer and it would hide among packs or groups of other deer. And if you were hunting, it would suddenly stand up and like charge at you on two legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so similar. Except ours had three eyes because of all the, radioactive waste.
Yeah. Yeah, but this thing after taking a shot at it, and I'm trying to remember, I in fact I have the book. I have the book right to my right, but with the not deer, it basically it took off and it kept coming for this guy. Like he had taken more than one shot at it. So, after he took the shot at it, winged it, it kept circling around and kept coming after the guy and kept trying to get out of the woods. I guess I can blow the ending on it. He did manage to get back to the truck, but he was scared out of his mind. And this thing does come out of the woods at them, and they barely managed to get away in the truck.
Makes you wonder what it would do if it got them or if it was just to scare them away.
I think maybe just to get them out of there. But man, if it did get a hold of them, the fact that it had this zombie like, you know, he knows he put at least 2 or 3 bullets in this thing, and it didn't die. It just and he kept saying he smelled this rotting smell every time he put a bullet in it, and he knows that he would and he I think if I remember the story right, there was blood on the forest floor, and he smelled and it was rotten. So like he winged it. He went to track it when he was initially when he winged it. He went to track it to see if he was gonna he's gonna track his kill and go find it. But when he got to the blood, it was rotten. Like it was a rotten, pungent smell.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Cryptid smells are never good.
no, but it was just like it was like, oof, oh no, 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 no. And then, as he's going to track the deer, the not deer, like it pops up behind him. Like it's like that classic horror movie trope where here he is and he's back for revenge, that type of deal. And then it goes to attack him and he runs. So
Well, that reminds me of kind of Fae or nature spirit guardians, kind of. Like they have these weird supernatural abilities.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It read like a classic horror movie script, but almost like, have you ever seen the SNL skit for Bambi with The Rock?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it almost
Yeah.
kind of like at first I'm reading it and I'm like, is this Bambi part two? Like is it gonna pull its own gun out and start shooting at him? But that type of deal. But but no, I mean it got creepier the more because you could tell it was out for revenge. Like, you dared to wing me, now I'm coming after you type deal. And it was like, whoa, like it was the deer that wouldn't die type deal. It was just it was just bizarre. It was like every hunter's nightmare, type.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little scary. It was a scary.
I wonder if he goes hunting anymore.
Interestingly enough, the person I had on, he said that he knew for a fact that that guy did not. And he knows of a few other people that had not deer um, experiences that did not. That they chose to stay home because of those experiences. So yeah, those experiences can be incredibly traumatizing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine. I would never go outside again, probably at night, at least.
It's interesting. Okay, so I don't know about you, but some of the people that I've interviewed that have had cryptid experiences, they have a hard time going back out into the woods. I don't know about you. Do you find that to be the
I've
trick?
never had a paranormal or odd experience ever. I would love to have one. But the people I've talked to, yeah, they don't go like if they really do believe it and they're not just trying to pull my leg, they don't go to the same places where these things have happened. Because why would you? It
Yeah.
was a negative experience.
I know we were talking about Bigfoot earlier. Have you talked to a Bigfoot experiencer who's had a negative experience?
It's usually what I would call warning experiences. Like they feel like they're being told to not be here, like throwing rocks,
Hmm.
aggressive sounds. But I've never met someone who's claimed to be attacked.
Yeah.
I have met someone who claimed to telepathically speak with Bigfoot.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's you can find a bunch of YouTube documentaries about that actually.
We had a lady on, it was quite a few years ago now. In fact, I interviewed her and she claimed to have had a telepathic relationship with Bigfoot and that Bigfoot had healed her. I mean, this was an unusual case. Um, but yeah, it was an interesting show. But yeah, it's in the archives. But yeah, it's a very interesting show indeed. I have to ask you. Okay.
I
Oh, go
Yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
No,
you
no,
go ahead.
no, no, no.
I
What were you gonna say?
was
'Cause
I
I'm
was
gonna
just gonna say
about to.
I have an open mind to things,
Hmm.
you know. That's all. I don't think people would lie as much as a lot of outsiders
Oh, I
claim.
don't think she was lying. But yeah,
No, but that's always like a major point of contention with people who aren't part of the cryptid community is just oh, everyone's just lying and hoaxing nonstop, but I don't believe that.
yeah. No, I don't think she was lying. I just think it was a very interesting story. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You have a creature in here which is incredibly interesting, and I don't think I've ever heard of it. I'm going to show you the picture here on video, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the story of it. This is a squonk. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah. A squonk.
Okay. So let me tell them the little story about the squonk here. You've even got it having a drippy eye here, Ballyraven, which is interesting. The squonk is a fearsome critter from Pennsylvania, small, wrinkly, and believing itself impossibly ugly. Oh, I see. I feel bad for it. There, that it feels impossibly ugly. It has a pig-shaped body, a human face, and the feet, ears, and tail of an elephant. It is covered in loose, wart and mole speckled skin that hangs in floppy, bunched up folds. The creature is so self conscious that it feels only shame and sadness. Oh, this is like my life being thrown back at me. Kidding. Unhappily wandering hemlock forests, it incessantly weeps and hides, hoping no one will see it. Unfortunately, its loud crying leaves behind a wet trail, making it easy to find and follow. Most vulnerable on moonlit nights, the squonk moves slowly or not at all. There is too much light. Afraid of seeing its reflection on water or its pool of tears, the animal does not look down. If cornered, threatened, or surprised or frightened, the squonk cries so hard that it constricts and dissolves into tears. Or it constricts and dissolves into tears. That is so sad.
I actually just got back from Squonkapalooza, which is a cryptid festival in Pennsylvania dedicated to the squonk. and they do a compliment contest.
Oh,
So there's someone who's dressed up as the squonk in the center of a stage, and then people try to make it stop crying.
really?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. That poor creature. So do they actually do they have someone dressed in a squonk costume that
Yes, it's a cute
seriously?
squonk costume. It
Yeah.
has huge eyes and these big blue teardrops under them. It's not one of the ugly depictions.
Okay. So it's a
Because there
cute.
there are some like models people bring where you can take pictures with them and they're hideous.
That's the cutest thing ever. Oh, poor squonk. I mean, that's one of those cryptids you just, you could feel so entirely bad for. Oh,
Yeah. Lumberjack folklore is fun because they were more entertainment stories or not not malicious, but practical joke style stories to try to trick people into believing there were these things out in the woods that they
right.
knew weren't real. But like the oh, everyone goes through the I don't remember the name, but there's an animal that people will take you out hunting for with a bag.
Okay.
I can't
Interesting.
remember what it's called, but it's something still people do now. I think there was a King of the Hill episode dedicated to it.
Oh,
But lumberjack folklore is basically that, just like good-hearted tricks
yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah. That's just the cutest thing ever. The squonk. Oh, poor guy. And one more here before we leave people today. And again, the name of the book, folks, Cryptid Creatures, Learn to Draw Mysterious Beasts from Around the World. You can learn to draw all of these creatures. Ballyraven has broken down exactly how you draw each and every one of these creatures. And again, it's a lot easier than what you would think. And she's got it broken down into easy steps here on how you draw each and every one of these. I'm going to show you a picture here of the lizard man of Scape or Swamp, and I'll tell you exactly the description right here. And there, if you're watching on video, is the lizard man of Scape or Swamp. There he is right there. Um, Here's the description of him, which he almost looks like the creature of the Black Lagoon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. On the outskirts of the Scape or Swamp in Browntown, South Carolina, lives the lizard man, sludging through the mud, punching in bushes, and peering from under the water. It is a dangerous entity. Green and scaly, the lizard man is shining with slime or water. He's standing 7 feet tall and it has only 3 fingers on each hand and menacing bright red eyes. Said to chase hikers, attack cars, and steal pets. Doesn't sound like a nice lizard man. Reports of lizard man activity occur not only in the surrounding swampland, but also in local sewer systems. First documented in 1987, its most infamous encounter occurred on June 29th of 1988. Early that morning, a man saw a creature running toward him while he was parked on the side of the road. Hopping back into his car, the monster followed, leaping onto the car's roof. Speeding ahead, the man sent the creature tumbling off the side, breaking the car's mirror.
I don't know what is going on in South Carolina, but they have several lizard cryptids. 'Cause, nearby that is the Lee County lizard man, which is like a velociraptor with a gecko head. Then you have the one you just read, and he's like a lizard man, a lizard head on a man's body. And then there's also the dinosaur children, which are tiny lizard men that live in the sewer. So they're just plagued by strange lizards.
Is it the climate down there, or the fact that it's there's so much water,
they they love that hot, wet land, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
Which, I get it.
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm glad I live here in Minnesota where it freezes.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with lizard dinosaur type people. We just have, although I did see there's a fur bearing trout in here. So
Oh
I think that's
yeah.
probably more my speed.
Oh yeah. He's in your rivers
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably more my speed and probably more likely to happen here in the Great North, especially with as cold as it is here. They probably need for
Yeah.
just probably,
They would die in a lizard man's pond or
yeah,
river.
yeah.
Yeah.
They probably get eaten very quickly. Yeah. Although you get
Overheat.
fur stuck in your teeth.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
The
Well,
lumberjacks used to say that you could have them jump into your boats by offering them a free haircut and shave.
you'd have to, right? I mean, it's only correct to do so, right? You gotta,
Right.
yeah. Do you suppose you'd have to get 2 bits from them for the shave and a haircut? See, it's
You have to. That's how much it costed. It
shave it
cost, you know?
2 bits. Yeah, and then you have to go see shave and a haircut 2 bits.
Yeah.
That's a bad joke, Ballyraven. I'll tell you that.
No, that's the actual lore. I didn't make that up.
Yeah,
Don't pin that on me.
I know, right? Well, I'm going to take another crack at trying to draw some of these creatures, and then you said for drawing Spud, it's an oval and a square.
Yeah.
No,
Yep. You can it depends on how full his cheeks is. It could be circle, it could be oval.
I'll have to show you because she's pregnant right now, so she's
Oh,
she's
it might be two ovals.
she's chunky right now. Yeah, she's Well, here I'll have to show you a picture of her. Took a picture of her the other day. She's Here I'll show you. Let me blow up the picture. Here she is right here.
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah,
You know,
she's
from the side, you could maybe even go for a triangle
yeah,
and maybe an oval. Yeah.
triangle
I'm
and an oval.
seeing it. I'm
Yeah,
seeing the shapes.
yeah. See, you've got that gift. I don't know where you would put the triangle. Is the triangle go where like her hump is right there,
Where her head is?
or where her head is? Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and the oval is where her body is there.
Her large little round body, yeah.
Okay, okay, and then you just draw from there, huh?
Yeah. One of the best ways to practice drawing is to print out a picture and then lay a really thin piece of paper on top of it
Mm-hmm.
and then try finding the shapes by tracing a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I learned to do that by drawing Ninja Turtles. I had a bunch of Ninja Turtle posters when I was a kid, and I would trace them, and then I would, learn how to do it freehand by
Okay.
drawing their shapes simply.
So is the triangle right side up or upside down when
It
you?
would be pointed like this, facing
Oh, okay.
like her nose would be the tip,
I know.
and the base of the triangle would be where her neck is.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. See that? Okay. I gotcha. It's okay, I got it. Yeah, okay. So then and then the oval, and then okay. See, now it's making sense to me. Okay, so you're trying to get the outline, and then you fill in the details from there.
Yeah, because like the little sketched shapes just help you place things proportionally.
Okay.
And it's really hard whenever you do people, it's very hard because we're really good at recognizing when our features are off.
Yeah.
So that's why you see like grids. In a lot of how to draw books, they'll have portrait grids and show you how to be as accurate as possible. But with
Yeah.
animals, you don't have to be that accurate because you get the general idea and that's good enough. It doesn't look as bad as quickly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, no, it makes complete sense. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe I'll work on a spud drawing this week. And so see if I can draw Spuddy and then take a picture out to her and say, "See, I drew you," and she'll look at me and go, "That's horrible." Um, yeah, because chipmunks can really be your best critic, I think. I don't know. I did get an AI book of her, of her adventures. I'm going to try and read that to her and then see how patient she is to actually listen to the story. Which
I
the
believe in her. I
yeah
believe
the
she has the patience.
well, we did have a 15-minute conversation the other day, but I don't know how much she was listening to me. that's a that's a story for another day, folks. This is the book right here, and it's a good one. Cryptid Creatures: Learn to Draw Mysterious Beasts from Around the World. We have a link in the description. I highly encourage you to go get the book and learn how to draw some of these cryptid creatures that you're hearing about, both on this program and Ballyraven's podcast. Go ahead, Ballyraven, tell people about your podcast again.
My podcast is Ballyraven Cryptid Wildlife Protection Agency. And if you want to come hear about some really weird stories and what these creatures would be like in real life, come take a visit.
All right.
It's about an hour, just an hour of your time while you're doing dishes.
While you're doing dishes. There you go. And we'll link up to it as well in the description of this program so you can check out the podcast as well. Ballyraven, I want to thank you so much for being on the program today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful. I love any opportunity to get to talk about monsters.
Excellent. We had a great time as well. Folks, I want to remind you of a couple of things. Of course, if you've listened to this program and not watched the program on the YouTube channel, it's real simple. Look for the original Darkness Radio or just go to darknessradioshow.com. Click on the description of this program. You'll see both the video and the audio in one place. Just click on the video. Watch this video. And then if you liked the show on video, be sure to like and subscribe. We can always use new members on the YouTube channel. Want to remind you that the executive producer of this program is Troy Palmer. Troy, thank you so much for everything you do. Also, if you don't have the Darkness Radio Apple app, go out and get the Apple app and get Darkness Radio all in one spot right there on your Apple device. We'd appreciate it if you do that. We are at the weekend. So everybody, make sure that you go out and have a great weekend, first of all. But if you're going to go have a great weekend and go enjoy the great weather and what's left of the summer, make sure you take a disabled or elderly person with you because, hey, they're still doing their living as well. Make sure that you go and treat somebody this weekend that is disabled or elderly to a great weekend as well. Go out and be a light in someone's darkness this weekend. We highly encourage you to go out and especially with the Renaissance Festival starting up in August, go take somebody out and make sure that they get out of the house and have a great time as well. We encourage you to do that. That'll do it for this week. More great shows next week. We encourage you to join us right here for the best in paranormal podcasting. For Mally Fox, for Jessica Freeberg, for Beer City Bruiser, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to watch and listen to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio.
For more audio and video archives of the show, intriguing content, fun events, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's program, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And remember to not only have a great weekend, but make someone else's weekend great as well. And be a light in someone's darkness.